And we're live. Jiu-Jitsu Bros here. Woo! Me, Jean Hadaway.
Josh Baker.
Nathaniel Baker.
And we're going to discuss all things Jiu-Jitsu and MMA related.
Let's go.
Let's go, boys.
So, first thing we got to do, talk about the upcoming Who's Number One card. Featuring the main event, we have Gordon Ryan and the Hulk.
Ooh.
That's what we
All right, Josh, what's your input on this?
All right. So for those, Hulk is actually a silver medalist at last year's ADCC. I want to say under 99 kilograms. Gordon Ryan was 99 plus kilograms. Champion, obviously. Also, he won his super fight. He's the first time in ADCC's history where the super fight went through his division again and then decided to do his super fight right after that. Very good, dude. So this depends. So if I was going with ADCC rule set, obviously either way, I think Gordon would probably win the match. But since we're specifically doing who's number one, which is probably going to be a 30-minute match because that's normally what Gordon does. I would have to lean towards Gordon because his gas tank is a lot better, and he's gonna just wear him out until Hulk can't just do anything anymore, and then he's gonna submit him, and then probably gonna release an instructional right after that. I'm just gonna have to say, because that's what he did last time. But yeah, the only way I see Hulk pulling this off is taking a lot of steroids.
Solid game plan.
We will get into that later. We do not condone steroids. We think it should be banned. At least I do. More on the serious note now. Really, I think he just needs to take the fight to Gordon. He needs, because if you watch every other Gordon Ryan fight, everybody is playing off their back foot and trying to be very, very defensive heavy. I really think you need to take the fight to Gordon if you have any chance of beating Gordon. Don't be afraid to open up. Guys are just way too afraid to open up. That's the only way I see Hulk pulling this off. So that's what I have to say. Anything?
No, nothing to add. I agree with you.
Gotcha. I like that analysis, Josh. So I feel like it's very accurate for this matchup. And then in our Coda main event, we also have another great matchup with Mika Galvao and Cody Steele. All right, Josh.
So, hey, do you want to take this one first?
Oh, man. I don't know, man. That's a hard prediction for me. I don't know.
So I would probably have to say that Mika. I think Mika's gonna pull this one off. Honestly, he's just highly technical. He's well-rounded. Cody Steele, though, man, that dude is a monster. The dude, I'm telling you, man. I went to East Coast trials for ADCC, and I got to watch him live in person. He literally suplexes a dude off the mats. Literally trying to kill the dude. He's very wrestler heavy. He has that wrestler's mentality of just going forward and not caring.
Those guys are always scary.
Yeah, they're very highly scary. All of us would bring into those wrestlers. But I think on a technical level, Mika will dominate the match. Just from the technical prowess, just knowing how to control people and lock them down. And I think, honestly, I'm gonna predict this because I predict these things. I'm saying a rear naked choke Mika Galvao in the last 3 minutes of the match. Oh, yeah, I'm going to call it out right now. As much as I love Cody Steele, man, but I'm going to have to give the edge to Mika Galvao. That's where I'm going.
I like it. So, and then here in our third fight, looks like we have the battle of the Diegos with Diego Reyes and Diego Patao. So we'll see who's better Diego here.
Man, I have to say Diego Reyes, man. That dude, bruh. Baby Shark, man. So he was the ADCC 66 kilogram champion. So he's just so well-rounded. Him and Mika actually train at the same place. So, I got to give the edge to Mika, man. I'm sorry, not Mika. I have to give the edge to Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Just the dude's well rounded. Actually, I would love to fight him one day. That would be a great fight.
He's in your weight?
Yeah. He's 145 pounds.
Okay,
Yeah. So yeah, 66 kilograms. I would love to fight that dude, but really, him and Mikey, we need that fight. One championship, please make that fight. That is a banger of a fight. Please make that fight.
All right, now also we got to talk about another big card that is coming up. That is UFC 296.
Last card of the year,
where
baby.
we have an Englishman and an American. So this brings us back to the Revolutionary War. I like that quite a lot. So, we got to think about it. Leon, he's beaten Usman twice. He has defined himself now as the new welterweight champion. And we've entered into a new era with this. We also have Colby entering in as one of the not-so-active fighters, but a very big threat for Leon. Josh, what are we feeling?
So, oh my gosh. So I'm not a big fan of Colby Covington, to be honest with you. But I really think this fight's going to go how the first Leon and Usman fight, just constant pressure, constant takedown. And who knows, he might get that one headshot dead, again, in the last minute. But honestly, I think Colby might pull it off just because the dude is very aggressive with the takedown. He's always moving forward. He's not scared to take damage. So I think Colby Covington by decision.
Yeah. I gotta go Leon. I think Leon either is gonna have another headshot dead moment, or he's gonna piece Colby up for 5 rounds. Like I just Colby like you said, Colby has not been active. And the only guys he's fought in the top 5, I mean even top 10, is Usman, and lost to him twice. Once stoppage, I mean, a lot of people say stoppage is iffy. I mean, but he was getting kind of pummeled in the first fight, in that last round. Then the second fight, got dropped twice. I think it was in the second round, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But you could argue Colby won. We won the last 3 rounds. But Leon's just been on the tear, man. Except for that Bilal fight, which, I mean, accidents happen. That happens, right? Leon's hungry. He's not done. He's still writing his legacy. He still is on a tear. And I think he's gonna get it done. I mean, and a lot of people say Colby has the first takedown against Usman, but it wasn't definitive, right? Leon took him down. Leon put him flat on his back. So I'm just saying.
The man can do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he's got jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu is so underrated. Like, I mean, the way he just controlled Kamaru, took him down in that first fight, in the first round of their second fight, and took his bag in that body triangle, working for a choke. His jiu-jitsu is, I mean, believe it or not, we might even see a submission from Leon. Because Colby likes to put his head on the outside when he goes for those takedowns, right? Mm. And like, he exposes his neck. Guillotine all day long. Guillotine Island. Boom, 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 boom. And the only other loss that Colby has had, and then again, Colby was supposedly injured in that fight, but what'd he do? Shoot, take down, head on the outside, guillotine, boom, submit it. So, I think, and Colby does have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I think he's just too wrestler
heavy.
He's too much of a wrestler. He likes to pressure in, without a care to the world. Let's just put it that way. So, but anyway.
So I like the analysis there with the factor that Leon's very good with jiu-jitsu.
Adjust the door.
Absolutely, you can adjust the door. As our wonderful Josh Baker, makes adjustments to the room. But you gotta say, for my money, Leon has proved a lot. In that third Usman fight, he really impressed me. He made the adjustments he needed to make, and he was able to get the win there, right? He's shown he can deal with the pressure. Really, this fight I think comes down to just pressure, right? Who can apply it better and who can evade it better, right? If Colby's able to just move forward and jab and pressure Leon, it's going to be a really tough fight for him. But you again have to be aware he's very good at Muay Thai, and he's shown he's a champion, right? He's a champion of the world, right? And Colby has not been as active. He has not put himself in deep waters against really high level competition, right? I mean, look, he's beaten an old Tyron Woodley and an old Masvidal in his last 2 wins, right? So not the best. So with that fight, yeah, it's got to be, Leon's shown he can wrestle, he can grapple. So that is a good sign for him. But for my money, with Colby, can of pressure, he can constantly go for takedowns. He will continue to move forward. I feel like that is going to be the one way that Colby will win the fight. Now, yeah, we could definitely, this is going to be a very competitive fight. We could definitely see a finish from Leon. Colby's not the most careful guy. He can get clipped, he can get dropped. We all know that. So head kicks from Leon, elbows, things like that, that's very dangerous. And Colby has to be very aware of those shots coming. So in this fight, it will be up to Leon to make sure to move, make reads, be careful, and don't let that pressure overwhelm him. If it does, Colby will slowly move and control the fight. But for my money, though, I would say Colby coming by unanimous decision.
Solid pick.
With that, guys, we're going to take a break, and we will be back right after this break.
Hey guys, this is Jean with Jiu-Jitsu Bros. I just want to let you know we are on YouTube and Spotify for our podcast, and if you didn't know already, we have merch. Yes, you can wear our very own product and show off that you love Jiu-Jitsu Bros. We also have our Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu-Bros. Go give us a follow now to enjoy more amazing Jiu-Jitsu content. Alrighty, welcome back, people. We had our short intermission. We have some root beers now. We've been rehydrated. And now we got to talk about a little but a big fight. So, we got the next title fight. Alexandre Pantoja, the champion, defending his title against Brandon Royval.
Yeah.
So, guys, I like Pantoja. He's an awesome guy. He's fun. Josh, what you got to say about this matchup?
Man, Pantoja is going to pull it off. The dude, I like him. So I've been watching Pantoja since he did the Ultimate Fighter of Champions, where, for those of you who don't know that, that's the one where Henry Cejudo and Joseph Benavidez were the coaches, and they were going to, the winner of that season, who was Tim Elliott, was going to fight for the flyweight title against Demetrius Johnson. Now, obviously, Pantoja didn't win it, but yet he got his title shot. Eventually, it took him a little bit longer, but he got it, and he won the belt. Yeah, man, I love him. His fighting style was amazing. He was actually the favorite on the show. He's always had a great run in the UFC. I really think he's well-rounded. He's always game to go toe-to-toe. I know he's Brazilian, but he seems like he fights like a Mexican. Yeah. So he certainly he certainly fought like a Mexican against Brandon Moreno. So I'm just saying. So yeah, I think Pantoja, man, is I think he's gonna walk away and still.
Agreed. And not to mention this is a rematch too. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Nathaniel, what you think? The Mexican Brazilian, can he do it? Or
Yeah, I think Pantoja's gonna get it done. I think his jiu-jitsu's too good. His striking could use some work. His boxing seems a little sloppy. But I mean, the way he was able to beat Brandon Moreno for a third time is because he controlled him. He got on top. He took his back. I mean, his jiu-jitsu like what's the word I'm looking for?
It's very high level.
It's so high level that he really, his striking, he can make up for in his lack of striking. So, yeah, I say Pantoja either by submission or decision.
absolutely, yeah, it's definitely, again, Royval, he's a very good grappler, very well-rounded fighter, but man, Pantoja, I mean, he's like a backpack kid, right? He will get on your back and you're done, right? His jiu-jitsu is so good. His ability to take your back and choke you is so good. He's a lethal striker. The real big thing for him is just to ensure that he does not, gas himself out or doesn't use too much energy. We do see him, kind of having a little too much pizzazz sometimes, right? But yeah, I mean, he's really a beast. Pantoja is a powerful guy. So he has a lot of ways to win this fight and show why he's the best in the world right now at 125. So moving forward with that, then we got to talk about some other really interesting and lethal people. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now, this is a good fight, right? I mean, this very well is just about a title eliminator, right? You got the Karate Man versus the Mountain Man. So I like it. Nathaniel, what you think so far?
So this one is kind of sentimental to me because I grew up a Wonderboy fan. I mean, when I first started watching anything about combat sports, there's 3 names I knew. It was obviously Conor McGregor, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and then Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That was the 3 guys I knew of when I first started competing in martial arts and watching combat sports. So Wonderboy is my favorite combat sports athlete. Like, he just always has it with his character, with his style, his uniqueness, the way he adapted his style to translate from kickboxing into mixed martial arts. But with that being said, with his last 2 out of his last 3 performances with Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns, he got out wrestled. He was controlled. On the feet, he looked great, and then again, he did have supposedly 2 really bad weight cuts those 2 fights. But then you see what he can do against a guy like Kevin Holland, who's no slouch on the feet. And I mean, he's not the best, but he's not a terrible grappler. He's got some good submissions. He's got some good transitions. So I don't know. I think if they can keep it on the feet and Thompson can manage his distance like he always does, I think Thompson. But Shavkat can do it all. I mean, he can strike, he can grapple. He's a younger guy. He's hungry. He wants it. So I gotta say Shavkat. I don't know how, but I think Wonderboy is not one dimensional, but he just I think Shavkat's gonna be too much for him. Unless Wonderboy can pull something off like he did with Kevin Holland or Jake Ellenberger or somebody like that, I think I got to give it a Shavkat.
Gotcha. And what do you think is just one key factor that Wonderboy really will need to use if he wants to win that fight?
Like I said, distance management. Don't put your back up against the cage. Like, he likes to get kind of stand with his back to the cage and kind of dodge, kind of like how Izzy does a little bit. He can't afford to do that. He has to do kind of what he did in the Vincente Luque fight. He has to do that if he wants to beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. Obviously, he said he's going to be ready for the wrestling. He's improved. He didn't know somebody can win like Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad did, but he didn't know. I'm pretty sure he knew, but he just didn't expect it. But yeah, I say the key factors to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson win is distance management, keep it in the center, be the sniper that he knows he is. So,
absolutely, I like that analysis. I'll definitely agree with you. Josh, how are we feeling between these 2 welterweights?
Man, so like he said, I'm very sentimental to Wonderboy. I really want the old guy to win. I want the. He is old. The fight years. Let's just be honest. The dude's still sharp though. You gotta give him prop for where it's due. So Rakhmonov, he's just very. He is just very, very creative. I mean, if you looked at him the last fight with Jeff Neal, he literally, if I remember correctly, it was the submission, right? He submitted him standing up. Yeah, the standing arm triangle, right?
Rear naked choke.
Standing rear naked choke? But I thought it was facing him.
He was kind of towards the back here.
Yeah.
He got his back
Right.
standing.
Anyway, it was when I watched that, I was like, man, that's very creative. And just he's very elusive on the feet, very creative. Wonderboy is a sniper, like you said. Man, if it stays standing, Wonderboy might have a slight advantage, but Rachmanov can always end up catching Wonder Boy. Because of how creative he is, and if he takes him down, I'm sure he's gonna take him down. Like you almost have to be like a dummy not to stand with Wonder Boy. You have to be a dummy if you're gonna,
And then again, I just remembered in that last fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov and Jeff Neal clipped him several times. I mean, it wasn't like it was just a shutout. It was a pretty competitive fight early on, and I noticed that Shavkat likes to drop his hands as he's pushing forward. Steven Wonder Boy can capitalize on that very easily. That's like his thank you gave me a Christmas present, So
But Rachmanov was fighting Jeff Hill. Jeff Neal doesn't have the exact striking credentials as Wonder Boy, which is why he might go out there and start trying to wrestle instead of stand with Jeff Neal, like he did with Jeff Neal.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, if Shavkat does decide to stand with Wonder Boy, which I wouldn't recommend with, that is another key factor that Wonder Boy can use to secure the victory if the fight goes to that particular scenario.
Right. I say Rachmanov. Rachmanov's going to pull it out. Judge's decision is going to be a bloody war, but Rachmanov pulls it out.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it. Yeah, I agree with a lot. Yeah, this fight. Now, we got to look at Rachmanov and just his style. Obviously, he's a finisher, right? Very, very competent grappler. Can definitely strike. Has power. So you have to be aware of that. And for that matter, if they're standing, Wonder Boy has to be very careful. But what is Wonder Boy's best skill set and best thing? Managing distance, right? He is the master at it. No one is better at him than that. So, although obviously, he has to be very, very careful. If this fight is just a kickboxing match, Wonder Boy's going to have the advantage. He's got to be careful, but he will have the advantage. What we're really looking at here is obviously Rachmanov mixing up the striking, tagging Wonder Boy good. That will be big. But we got to see about how much he's going to grapple, right? He's obviously very competent there, but he's more opportunistic, right? In the Jeff Neal fight, he didn't take him down. He caught the leg and then went to the ground. In the Neal fight, he took his back, standing right and choked him. So he's not like going to just get right after you. He just kind of looks for opportunities. So we might see, Wonder Boy slip, or maybe, Rachmanov catches a kick, something like that, and then he gets the fight to the ground. If that's the case, where we're just going to see kind of an opportunistic Rachmanov, this fight is going to be very competitive. I think it's going to be a bloody war, right? Rachmanov's going to get his opportunities, but Wonder Boy is definitely going to have his ability to land his shots and do what he needs to do. On the other hand, if Rachmanov does want to wrestle, I'm sure he definitely has a very good chance to mix up his strikes, get Wonder Boy thinking about the feet, and get takedowns. So it can be a very different fight, but what I feel like Rachmanov's going to find is opportunities to get to the ground, and I do think it'll be a third-round submission, is my prediction. So, yeah, that's going to be a really good fight. I'm very excited about that one. So, got to talk about another great one. This is really one that I'm probably equally as exciting as far as welterweight fights go. We have to go with Ian Gary and Vicente Luque. Woo, boys. So, this is a good one. I mean, we got to think about Ian Gary. He's on the rise. He's not very liked, right? He doesn't really have that Conor McGregor charisma per se, right? He's trying to kind of pull it off, but he's kind of made himself a bit of a turd, so hasn't done a great job of that, but he can back up with the fight skills. And, well, he has another very worthy opponent, Vicente Luque, who, although he's struggled in some of his recent fights, his fights against Jeff Neal, he kind of had almost an uncharacteristic performance, but he's very dangerous. And this is a very nice test for Ian Gary. So, Josh, what are your beginning thoughts on this matchup?
Man, I'm going to go with Ian Gary. I'm going to go with him. I like you said, he's not pulling off the Conor McGregor charisma. He's kind of getting actually a little bit of backlash for it, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But his style, it's very interesting. It's almost like he's like trying to be like Conor, it's style-wise, but he's not. But he's like kind of taking his own path off of it. Vicente Luque, man, that dude is always he's a warrior, man. He's always down. He's been in some great wars. He also has a hard head. I mean, Wonder Boy broke both of his hands on Vicente Luque's head. I mean, the dude could take a shot. Yeah, but I think Gary could pull it off, man. I just got that gut feeling, and I think Vicente Luque is kind of like, ever since like the Wonder Boy fight, he hasn't done very, very great on working his way up the rankings. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm going with Ian Gary. I'm going with Gary pretty much.
I like it. And Nathaniel, what's your take?
I gotta agree with Josh. Ian Gary, he's young. He's got the reach. He's got the height. He's got the athleticism. Another key factor, he likes to use that distance management like Wonder Boy, not in exactly the same way, but he and I wouldn't even say he's a master at it, but he's very good at it, where I think it will work against Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque, he's a veteran, man. He's fought the who's who. He's fought the Leon Edwards. He's fought the Stephen Thompsons. He's fought the Bilal Muhammads. He's fought a lot of people, man. And but he takes unnecessary damage. He got really beat up against Bilal. Really beat up against Jeff Neal. I mean, he had a good comeback fight with RDA, but I mean, RDA is a veteran also, and I don't know if he's currently ranked. Is he ranked in the lightweight division?
I believe.
But their fight was obviously at welterweight. But yeah, I just think Ian's a young, hungry kid who's got beef with the champ. Also, so that's there's a storyline there. So the UFC is definitely going to push this guy, but I do think he pulls it out. He does have the skills to be able to finish Vicente Luque.
Absolutely, I like it.
What's your prediction?
Yeah. So, I mean, my thoughts, right? Gary has definitely shown you, other than his debut fight, he's shown he's a very competent striker, and I like him, right? He's long, he's tall, very, very balanced, very creative, and has power to finish anybody, right? And then we also have Vicente Luque, who's been there and he's done that, right? He's been in this division for a while. He's shown he can really do it anywhere, right, as far as the fight goes. But, yeah, I agree with y'all. Ian's tall, he's long, and if he's fighting this fight on his own terms, it's going to be a hard fight for Luque. Luque, if he wants to win this fight, he's going to need to, number one, make sure to be defensively sound. Is Jeff Neal fight, which not to say Jeff Neal has pillow hands or anything, right? But he really got finished rather quickly. I was really kind of rather disappointed in that fight. Just from Luque for, I guess, just his ability to take a punch, right? Usually he can eat punches, but he was definitely getting rock and sock there a lot. So he will need to find, kind of dirty ways to get in the pocket, land his shots, maybe even look to take, Gary down. But if he's going to want to have a shot at this fight, you need to cut those angles, get in, land some quick shots, and get out. Because other than that, Gary's just going to slowly pick away and probably look for a finish. My prediction, though, with all that being said, yeah, Gary's on the come up. He's younger. He's probably going to be a more dangerous striker on the feet overall. So I do think we see probably a TKO from Gary. I feel like probably in the third round as they feel each other out and kind of get to work.
I like that. I like that prediction.
Oh, yeah. Everybody likes it, man. Yeah. So then we have our next fight on the card, which is going to be, it's a one for the old boys and one for the new boys, right? Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson. So, this is definitely, talk about a meeting of young and old, right? I mean, Tony, he's 37, right? He's on a five loss streak now? Yeah, 6, yeah. So he's, I do appreciate the UFC still giving Tony opportunities like this, even while we really know he's kind of at the end of his rope at this point in his career, right? He's obviously had a wonderful run. And on that same ticket, we have Paddy, who's coming up. Now, obviously, he's lost a lot of traction. His fight against Jared Gordon was not the best. I mean, I do think he lost that fight, right? So he's lost a lot of traction, and he has weaknesses, right? He can definitely get caught, for sure. But there's one thing that's very apparent with Tony, and it just he needs to go back to basics to be able to win fights, and he doesn't seem to really want to do that. He kind of just wants to still do his El Kukui thing, which I love that, but for him to be able to be a competitive fighter, we can't be having him doing spin stuff like he's on the Dancing on the Stars. We just can't have that, right? So, again, I would love to see Tony win here. I think we all would, right? Who wants to see Paddy win?
I would like to see Tony win and just kind of ride off into the sunset.
Exactly. Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, just go and retire and do us all a favor. Him retire and Paddy lose. So it's a win-win. But so Nathaniel, kind of what are your beginning thoughts here?
I don't know, man. Obviously, Tony is a warrior. He's a veteran. He's definitely has a lot more experience. But then again, he is on that 6-fight losing streak. He is. I hate to say this, and I don't mean to be offensive, but he is. He does have one foot out the door. Paddy, obviously, I don't think he's very complete. I think he's kind of a wild man. He has 8 shots, and I think his weight cuts will catch up to him at some point. So I don't know. It's really a coin toss. Is it going to be is El Kakui going to show up, or is Patty going to do a flying triangle and do finish him in Patty fashion? That's a coin toss for me, man.
Absolutely. I hear there, Josh. What are we thinking?
Man, so I love Tony Ferguson. Let's be honest. Patty, like you said, is an up and coming guy. He lost a little bit of traction, but I think he's still considered one of those new breeds of fun fighters. You know, like that Conor McGregor charisma. He was when he got into the UFC. He kind of brought a little bit of that from Cage Warriors. Tony Ferguson, man, he's been on a rough road ever since that fight with Justin Gaethje. I mean, Justin Gaethje, he has those retirement hands, man. I mean, I have no idea, man. I'm gonna say Tony Ferguson. He's gonna do it in Tony fashion with a Darce. So he's gonna Darce him. Like you said, like you were saying earlier, that Tony, he's at the point in his career where he kind of almost has like one foot out the door, which is also probably the reason why he started training with David Goggins, because David Goggins is like, stay hard, you know, get back on the horse. So I think he's training with David Goggins to get his mental capacity right. Maybe that's what Tony needs. He wasn't mentally there the last wasn't mentally there the last 5 of his fights, because he was fully there when he fought Justin Gaethje. Maybe this is what he needs to be able to start his comeback or ride off into the sunset, whatever he wants to do. But with that being said, if David Goggins should do a jiu-jitsu match, who would David Goggins go against? Because, I mean, he obviously understands the MMA world. He has to know what jiu-jitsu is. The dude was a freaking Navy SEAL. I think also he was like an Army Ranger, who's a 2-time Navy SEAL, actually. He went through Hell Week twice. So he has to know a little bit of the fight game. Like, if he was going to do a jiu-jitsu match, who would we pair David Goggins up with? Now, let's stick with celebrities. Let's not actually put him up with like a legit fighter. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who's done this their entire career since they were 5 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking like Sean Strickland, just to kind of make that fair, you know. No, but this would actually be more fair, because obviously, you know, David Goggins is known as being the hardest mofo on the planet, right? And I think that's very true, right? This guy is probably one of the best endurance athletes that you'll see, and the things that he's able to do. I mean, he did have the pull-up world record at one point, you know. I mean, he is one of the toughest people, right? So, but as far as who we could put him up against, you know, it's hard to say. One interesting matchup we could have would be him versus Tom Hardy, maybe, right? Who's another celebrity who does roll.
I mean, honestly, they both are like around the same weight. I mean, what Tom Hardy is, if I remember correctly, what is he, 150?
165.
165, and then
Currently, to one website, I don't know for sure, but that's
Tom Hardy and David Goggins, and that would be a fun jiu-jitsu match. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think that would kind of make maybe a little more sense just with, you know, let's be honest, Goggins. He's going to be a white belt, right? I mean, obviously we don't know if he trains, but he hasn't really shown it. He does have obviously military training, which will help some, you know, but I think that would actually be an interesting matchup, right, with, hey, Goggins. Right, Goggins is about 200 pounds or so. He's a bigger guy. Obviously he's going to be in shape, but then Tom Hardy, you know, about 160 pounds or so, right? But, yeah, blue belt, right? Exactly. So that would be an interesting matchup. You know, it would be, I mean, he's definitely out of his realm, but he can push the pace hard, and I would like to see him.
Stay hard.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I'd like to probably see him wrestle and just try to really, just put that pace on Hardy. Obviously, he could probably go hard in a grappling match, but that would, I would pay money to see that. So that would be pretty cool.
Now, also, like, what? No, let's just do like just celebrities, just right off the bat. Like, who celebrity-wise, like, who would we put in the jiu-jitsu match? Like, who would people come to pay? Now, they have to have a little bit of jiu-jitsu training. Obviously, Tom Hardy. Let's just throw Tom Hardy in there. Tom Hardy, I love you. We all do, I think. Well, you're one of the jiu-jitsu fam, man. So Yeah, like who should we put Tom Hardy up against besides David Goggins? That's an option.
I mean, you got to put him up. Look, there's another man that's his size, that's ready to go, that's training, that's active, that's a blue belt. That's also a billionaire and started social media stuff.
Well, Tom Hardy's a purple belt now, I think.
Oh yeah, I think he might.
Is he a purple belt now?
Huh?
I thought he was still a blue belt.
I don't know, blue belt or purple belt.
But yeah, they're around the same area, right? Get all. We have Mark Zuckerberg, right? Obviously, the billionaire man himself, who I'm pretty sure is a lizard, but we won't talk about that. But for real though, right? I mean, look, Mark Zuckerberg versus Tom Hardy, they're similar size, same belt level, and they're active competitors, right? I mean, this would be really interesting, you know. It'd be hard to say. I do feel like Tom Hardy has maybe more that grit in him to push a pace and kind of go harder, and he seems to be going a lot, right? I mean, he's competing a ton and getting a lot of experience in, right? He's probably stayed a lot harder, right, than Zuckerberg. I mean, look, he's a billionaire, you know. It's hard to run the miles when you're sleeping in silk sheets, right? In silk pajamas, I should say. So as that saying goes. So that would be really cool, though, right? And hey, it'd be an awesome fight to watch, right? Celebrity, and we should start at just a celebrity jiu-jitsu competition.
I mean, they've done celebrity boxing. Technically, jiu-jitsu is so safer than boxing. I mean, you're not taking damage to your brain, which honestly, let's be honest, Mark, he kind of needs his brains. You know what I'm saying? He's built his whole empire around it. So I mean, jiu-jitsu is perfect for him. Exactly. So yeah, what you think, bro?
Yeah, I think it would be a good matchup. Obviously, both been training in jiu-jitsu for a couple of years. I do think Tom Hardy is a lot more active, and I do think he's got a little bit more the dog in him, per se. I've seen a couple of highlights of him. He's really aggressive. Really likes to go for submissions and stuff like that, which Mark Zuckerberg does too, but like I said, I don't see him. I don't see him out techniquing or out strength or out like controlling Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy is just the better round all jiu-jitsu practitioner, and I just see him getting it done.
I like it a lot. So yeah, but I'm thinking, yeah, and honestly, we could just start our own. You know, they have the Eddie Bravo Invitational. You know, we could start. You know, I don't know, just throw some celebrity in there, the Dwayne the Rock Johnson Invitational for jiu-jitsu. There we go. Throw a big guy in there. The Rock Invitational. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah. So the Celebrity Apprentice, it's the Celebrity White Belt tournament. So you know, but now talk about that. Obviously, we talk about big celebrities and everything. Let's just think about the normal people. And one thing I've been thinking about a lot. I've been trying to get in better shape. Josh, you do own jiu-jitsu gym, right? Obviously, Baker's Jiu-Jitsu in St. Francisville, Louisiana. So, you know, I've trained a bit. Again, I've been very consistently inconsistent. You know, I kind of go on for a month or so and then kind of get out. And then I'm like, hey, I want to get in shape again. Let's do this. And then a month on and then we're off, right? Yeah. So, you know, what are your biggest tips, especially where you have a new person come in the gym that maybe is struggling, trying to get into shape? What are you usually trying to help them with to just kind of get started off so they can kind of get moving and everything, get that consistency?
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, the hardest part for people is just to walk through the door. I mean, the hardest belt in jiu-jitsu to get is the white belt. People think it's black belt, but it's not. It's the white belt. So my biggest thing is just be like, just show up. You have, like, just walk through the door, you know. I know it's a little scary. I mean, we all like rolling around, getting really close and like choking each other out, but once you make that initial step, I'm telling you, you will fall in love with it. The next thing you would be working with, the next thing I would say is, don't get discouraged, right? I mean, right? Because a lot of people they quit because they get discouraged. It's like, man, nothing's happening. No, like I'm getting submitted a lot. It takes a long time to get good at jiu-jitsu. It takes the longest to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu. It takes 10 years. 10 years. Other martial arts, it takes like anywhere from 3 to 5 years. I mean, so it's just being patient. What I tell people when they come in the door, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So my biggest tip would be show up and don't get discouraged and keep an open mind. Leave your ego out the door, you know. You can't have an ego and do jiu-jitsu. It does not go together. They do not mix. So those are like my three biggest tips is walk through the door, leave your ego outside, and the third one was we just be willing to learn. So that's what I have to say.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just get good at getting beat up, right?
That's
that
right.
that needs to be the goal, probably.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, for your first 6 months, right? That's what's gonna happen. Like, okay, I'm gonna get beat up. Okay, this person's putting a bow and arrow choke. What is that? Is that a dance move? Oh, that's a choke. Okay, and I'm tapping now. So, Nathaniel, what are some other things you feel like that just would help somebody kind of get in the door?
Obviously, I'm going off of what he said. Start. The biggest. A lot of people are really scared to start something new because they have the ego that holds them back and the fear of embarrassment. You gotta be at peace with that. You got to give yourself grace when you are not doing well in the gym and look, hey, I'm learning. This is part of it. This is part of my journey, and have an open mind and a mind and a heart willing to learn, because you might be the best white belt in the gym, but you're the white belt. You know what I mean? You're the white belt. Like, I'll tell you a story. I'm not going to name names, obviously, but I'm going to tell a story. There was a white belt at our gym the other day. He's like, I think I can get you now. Like, the typical white belt guy that, sorry. White belt guy.
Get everything right.
White belt guy that, is just he's like, I can get you now, like, just that cocky attitude. So I was like, okay. I out-controlled him and I submitted him a good bit, right? But he got up. He's like, all right, I'll get you next month. I'm like, don't come out. Don't do that. The way that I learned and the way that he learned was ask questions. Yeah, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? What do I need to do to improve not just my game but my overall mindset for this sport or this art? And like I said, I think the best thing that you can possibly do is just give yourself grace. It is not a sprint; it is a marathon, like he said, and just start. So that's the best thing I can offer you.
So I can't complain there, man. Yeah, it's that's all I gotta do, right? And yeah, it's difficult to step in there, right? I remember when I was first, like, I was training, just I was active, and every time I go in there, I'd walk in there, kids' class was finishing up, I go sit down on the bench, I'm kind of like shit, I'm kind of like a little nervous. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready. Okay, I'm gonna get my gi on, get ready, right? And just you get those nervous feels, Exactly, and I mean, for me, I never really lost it. I just kind of always had it, Just sometimes that's what it is. But then you get on the mat, you stretch, and then you do yoga by folding people. So
Aggressive yoga.
Exactly, it's a great yeah. We're folding clothes just with people inside them, as that internet meme goes. So yeah, right. So yeah, but yeah, it's I've been trying to get in shape. Obviously, over the past not even week, I've been weightlifting again. So trying to improve my physical. Then at some point, I do want to get back into jiu-jitsu. So those are gonna be helpful things for me. Just to get back into it, get into moving again. Learn some self-defense, learn some sporting fun, right? So you get into it. And with you, Josh, just kind of teach jiu-jitsu, obviously, and then owning a business. Obviously, we're younger guys, and that's awesome they're able to own a business being a younger guy. What have been some big things you've been able to learn just in the course? I mean, you've had the business for about how long now?
Roughly like, I want to say like 14 months. 14.
Gosh, that's would have been like some big, I guess, like learning lessons. Just being starting off as a business owner and then a teacher now, right? Like, how's that been? That's definitely different.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes with challenges. Like the way I like how to describe like teaching jiu-jitsu is, so usually like what people would do is they will, when somebody comes in, you'll just show them your style of jiu-jitsu, right? Because everybody's got their own style of jiu-jitsu. What I like to do is like, okay, I like to go a little bit deeper than that. I want to be like, okay, what type of body style do you have? What type of game will work for you? Because what a game might work for me, because like, let's face it, like, I'm 140 pounds. I'm, my game is really fast. I mean, I can't. A 200-pound guy is going to be playing the same game as me. And he's going to be using a lot more pressure. So like, just knowing like the different body types and how like to build a style around your student's body type. That's what you need to do as a coach. And yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. I've actually learned a lot more about jiu-jitsu being able to actually teach it. It's helped me out so much, and they'll ask questions that I would have never thought to ask. So I mean, yeah, it's like literally a win-win. Like they're getting help with jiu-jitsu, and I'm learning new stuff that I never thought I would ask. So.
Right?
Yeah.
Get a whole new perspective on things.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Just different perspective from different people.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
if you're teaching the 5'4", 250-pound guy, it's like, oh, well, you can't really.
Yeah.
Can't do the open guard play that I can do. So,
you're not gonna be able to do rubber guard. But you will be able to use your pressure passing, like. Tremendously.
Exactly. Yeah. And if they do try to rubber guard, just call it burrito guard. Wrap them up.
I'm telling you, I have a blue belt, man. So he's like 200 and I'm not gonna name names, but he's like 230 pounds. He's as flexible as me. Do you know how much of a scary combination that is? I mean, like, dude, like, how, like, I'm like, okay, I got him on his back, okay, I got him. I'm about to speed pass here, and his foot is touching his forehead. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So that's a scary combination. Those are the type of people you got to watch out for.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Nathaniel, do you have any other input on? I know you've helped Josh with the gym some and kind of do some teaching also. You do have some experience there as well.
I fill in for him when he needs me there, and I also do. Just started teaching kickboxing there as well too. So it is teaching, man. It's a blessing because you learn so much as you teach, in more than you could just being a student. Mm-hmm. Not so much just about the art or the thing that you're teaching, but a lot more about life stuff too. And it helps you grow as a person, and it helps you mature as a person, and it helps you just not only be a better coach, but be a better man or woman, competing or teaching. But it's man, it's just the best thing, and also to watch the person that you help teach grow. That's something so rewarding about that as well, and it's awesome, man. It's like the best job ever. So.
We had some technical difficulties with the camera. Like I said, this is a new podcast. We're still getting used to all this. So, thank y'all for y'all's patience.
Yeah, for sure. But my question was, if you can choose one guy in the sport of jiu-jitsu to face.
Wait, in an actual match?
Actual match. Who would you choose?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, dude. Mikey Musumeci.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, me and him are walking around at the same weight. I mean, hey, dude, I'm down. If you run out of opponents, don't be hesitant to give me a call. One championship, I'm totally in.
Yeah,
so.
and I can attest. He may be technically a purple belt, but his knowledge. He's one of the most technical guys in the state of Louisiana, and even in the country, in my opinion. So, if you want it, come and get it, Mikey. Respectfully.
Respectfully, yeah, man. It's all in love, bro. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that would be my pick. So, yeah. All right, I think we're gonna wrap up the first episode of the Jiu-Jitsu Bros. Can't wait to continue this season with y'all boys.
Let's go, man.
Let's get it on.
Yeah, it's a real honor. Thank you guys for enjoying with us. And we also do have a new merch line as well. So check us out, get swagged out. Be cool, So we appreciate all listening to us.